Hello and welcome to City of Achievement. Today we have three guests from the Phillips Graduate Institute and their division there, which is the California Family Counseling Center. So I want to introduce you to Sandy Terranova, who's the Executive Director of the California Family Counseling Center, and also to José Luis Flores.
Hi,
welcome. And to Angélica Gonzalez, right?
Gonzalez, yes.
And you like to be called Angie,
yes.
So we'll go from there.
Thank you.
Hey, welcome today.
Thank you.
Now, I know a little bit about CalFam, which is the way you are known as. But you've been around for 35 years here in Encino, and how come people don't know about what you do? What do you think the reason is, and also what do you do so that people will know?
I find it amazing that they don't know what we do, because we provide a service for people who would just go unserved if we were not there. We provide mental health counseling services for individuals, couples, families, children, who really would not find services anywhere else. They're the kind of people that don't qualify for Medicare and Medi-Cal. They can't afford high-priced private practice therapists. And we provide a service for them that they can get counseling to take care of the issues that are bothering people. Issues between couples, children acting out, elderly people adjusting to transitioning to assisted living facilities. And I'm surprised after all this time. I don't know why, but I am surprised.
We actually have been in the Valley for about over 35 years.
Right.
And still there's little known about our counseling center. And at one time, we weren't really talking much about it because of demand. We really didn't have enough counselors to meet the demand, so we really weren't promoting the counseling center for quite a few years.
But how did it get started? Who started it, and why at that time? Just because there were not a lot of counseling centers available with, that provided the kinds of services to low-income folks?
Well, actually, it was more that there weren't many family therapists, or at least clinicians, therapists that could work with families and couples and so forth. So the Counseling Center was part of the Phillips Graduate Institute, which is a graduate program in psychology and marriage and family therapy. And the need there to be able to provide training for these students in these professions, the Counseling Center offered that opportunity.
Our founder realized that you can have Clint Phillips, you can have an academic background, but the real crux of becoming a good therapist is the clinical work. And so when he started the Institute, he started a counseling center right away to begin to train these clinicians. And now we train about 100 mental health professionals every year. And these professionals train at our site, which is in Encino, providing services right on our site, as well as they go out to homes for the elderly. We're in 20 LAUSD schools. We're in residential facilities for the elderly. We're in, I think I said, 2 probation camps. And we provide services that both at our site and within the community, which provides training for our students as well as helping the community.
But the students that you have, the people that the therapists are not specifically from Phillips Graduate Institute, right?
Most of them are, but we have students from many, many different schools and universities throughout Southern California.
Now, how do these students find out about Phillips and about your program with CalFam?
We have our admissions office for the graduate program. We'll go to different school sites just to let them know that we have training opportunities for their students, for their graduate students. And we also attend many fairs where we also promote our counseling services. Job fairs, and yes.
Well, I would add that I think one of the best ways that we promote our programs is just through word of mouth. I think as we provide better training opportunities for students, that many of the students that we have from other schools, not just Phillips, they come to our school because they heard from so-and-so that they got wonderful instruction, and in addition to that, that the clients that they're able to see, the range of clients, are clients that aren't available anywhere else.
Right.
Because again,
now, is this the only kind of service that there's available in the Valley or in Los Angeles in general? I mean, the way that you are set up, is it unique?
I think we're unique in the sense that we're connected to a graduate institute. There are a lot of small clinics around. Many of them provide services through the Department of Mental Health. We're one of the few large clinics that is not connected to government mental health services. But because we're connected to a graduate institute, we're on the cutting edge of all the recent and new and current knowledge about what's happening in our field. And that means that our teachers who are teaching the academic classes very often come in and provide additional seminars and training for our students.
I would say that we're also unique in the sense that our counselors are prepared and trained to work with not just individual clients, but the clients in the relationship to their family members, to their co-workers. So the focus is very much on the relationships that oftentimes need some assistance in very difficult times.
Now, where do most of your clients come from? Is it from the valley, from within like a 25-mile range of Encino, or?
From within the San Fernando Valley, I would say throughout,
And
yes.
who are most of your clients? Give me a typical client.
I don't think we have a typical client. I think our clients range from age 3 to age 80. We have clients from every ethnic background, and we even provide service in various languages. We have some therapists who speak Hebrew, Farsi, English, and one of our most amazing programs, which I want Jose, Luis, and Angie to talk about, is our Latino Family Therapy Program, which is provides training to work with Latino families, monolingual and bilingual Latino families.
Now, how is that different from when you're dealing with a Latino community? How is that different from, let's say, the Caucasian community or the African American community, and even the Persian community? What are the differences between those communities, and how do you handle that?
Well, aside, of course, the language and the need for services in Spanish, there's a couple of things. One has to do with the way in which individuals who come for counseling are so interconnected with their relationships in the family. But that often surfaces, the need to be able to understand how what's happening within their family, what's happening in their relationship with their family, are affecting them in a variety of ways. And often that's presented in depression or anxiety or in some acting out behavior.
But how do they find out about you? Let's say a typical family, you've got a problem. Number one, what motivates you to go out? Because if it's a strong family unit, it's very difficult to break that and to go outside to ask for help.
Yes.
And I think that's
And how does that usually work? At what point do they do that, and how do they find out about your program specifically?
And similar to what I said earlier, I think that's one of the unique things about the type of services that we provide, that we talk all the time about Latinos being very family focused, but it's also family and community. So what happens is that similar to what happens with our students, that we have a family member who tells a cousin, who tells their neighbor, who tells this. We get a lot of referrals via previous clients that we've had. And right from the get-go, I think the way that our program is set up, that at engagement, we already let clients know that this is a service that will be different, just by the nature of the initial call being done in Spanish.
Right.
For a particular group that's monolingual in Spanish, that I think that's a huge draw.
Now, what would be a typical situation that someone would call you? Is it again, you said there's nothing typical, but yet there must be some trend of the kinds of problems that people face, and the reasons why they do call you.
Exactly.
What are some of those?
Very recent, a couple of days ago, just as an example, and I think this is typical of the cases that we have in the Latino program. Right. A woman in her 40s calling because her husband decided to separate, and certainly was affecting her. She was expressing a lot of depression, and she was concerned for her 15-year-old son and 14-year-old daughter. When she called, and we helped her through that little crisis over the phone, and we set up an appointment, we asked her to bring her children as well. And so that's one of the things that we want to do. We want to bring all the family in that's being affected by what's happening. And she said that she would try, but that her son may not want to come in, or if he comes in, he won't want to talk. And